I found the hotel receipt while looking for my insurance card in Ashley's glove compartment. It shouldn't have meant anything. Just a crumpled piece of paper wedged between old parking stubs and a half-empty pack of gum. But my wife and I shared everything. Credit cards, calendars, our entire lives for 12 years. And I'd never seen this charge before. The Meridian Hotel. Room 847. 2 nights. 3 weeks ago. The same weekend Ashley told me she was at that pharmaceutical conference in Portland. My hands started shaking before my brain could catch up. I sat in our driveway, engine still running, staring at that receipt like it might rearrange itself into something innocent. The date glowed up at me. March 15th, 17. I remembered those days perfectly. I'd taken our daughters, Emma and Lily, to my parents' place in Eugene so Ashley could focus on her career development opportunity. I'd been so proud of her dedication. The garage door opener clipped to the visor seemed to weigh 1,000 pounds. I couldn't make myself press it. Couldn't walk into our house and pretend everything was normal. Not yet. Instead, I pulled out my phone and opened our shared credit card account. My fingers moved automatically, scrolling back through March. There it was, the Meridian Hotel charge. $847.32. But that wasn't all. Dinner at Castellano's, the Italian place downtown. $156. I knew that restaurant. It was here in Seattle, not Portland. 20 minutes from our house. My chest tightened. I kept scrolling. February. January. The pattern emerged like a photograph developing in chemicals. Monthly charges at hotels I didn't recognize. Restaurants I'd never been to. All on weekends when Ashley had conferences, training sessions, or overnight shifts at the hospital. 12 years of marriage, 2 beautiful daughters, a mortgage we'd celebrated paying down early, family vacations to Cannon Beach every summer, and I was sitting in my own driveway, looking at evidence that my wife had been living a completely separate life. The front door opened. Ashley stood there in her scrubs, her blonde hair pulled back in that messy bun she always wore after long shifts. She smiled and waved, mouthing something through the windshield. I couldn't hear her over the ringing in my ears. Somehow, I turned off the engine. Somehow, I walked inside. She kissed my cheek. That same casual kiss we'd exchanged 10,000 times, and I felt like my skin was crawling off my bones. "How was your day?" she asked, already moving toward the kitchen. "I'm starving. Did you pick up the girls?" "They're at soccer practice." My voice sounded normal. How was that possible? "I'll get them at 6. "Perfect. That gives me time for a quick shower." She paused at the stairs. "You okay? You look pale." "Just tired." She nodded and disappeared upstairs. I heard the water start running. I stood in our living room, the room where we'd opened Christmas presents that morning, where Emma had taken her first steps, where we'd slow danced at our anniversary party last year. And I didn't recognize anything. It was like walking into a stranger's house. The receipt was still in my pocket. I pulled it out, smoothed it flat on the kitchen counter. Real. Tangible. Not a nightmare I could wake up from. I needed more information before I confronted her. The thought came clearly, cutting through the static in my head. Because if I was wrong, if there was some explanation I couldn't see, I didn't want to blow up our marriage over a misunderstanding. But I already knew I wasn't wrong. My laptop was in my home office. I opened it, hands steadier now that I had a purpose. Our cell phone account loaded quickly. I'd never checked Ashley's call logs before. Never had a reason to. We weren't those people who snooped and suspected and played detective. Except apparently we were exactly those people. Or at least, I was about to become one. The logs went back 6 months. I started scanning numbers, looking for patterns. Most were familiar. Her colleagues at Seattle Memorial, her parents, her sister Katie, me. But one number appeared with disturbing frequency. Sometimes 3, 4 times a day, often late at night after I'd gone to bed. The calls lasted anywhere from 5 minutes to over an hour. I copied the number into a reverse lookup site. The page loaded. My heart stopped. Tyler Bennett, age 34. The same age as Ashley. I clicked through to his social media profile, which was barely locked down. A physical therapist at Seattle Memorial. Handsome in that CrossFit protein shake way that I'd never been. His recent photos showed him at hospital events, charity runs, beach trips. And there, buried in his photos from 4 months ago, Ashley. They were at a fundraiser gala at the hospital. She'd told me it was women only, some kind of nursing appreciation night. But there she was in the black dress I'd helped her zip up, standing next to Tyler Bennett with his arm around her waist. The caption read, "Great night with amazing people." 37 likes, including one from my wife. The shower was still running upstairs. I had maybe 5 more minutes. I went back through his photos, screenshotting everything. There were more. A hiking trip to Rattlesnake Ledge, the weekend Ashley said she was covering extra shifts. A concert at the Paramount, when she'd supposedly been at her sister's place helping with a bathroom renovation. Dinner at that same Italian restaurant from the credit card statement. They weren't even being careful. Or maybe they were, and I'd just been too trusting to notice. Too busy with my own job as a software engineer, too focused on being a good dad, too confident in the foundation we'd built together. The water shut off upstairs. I closed the laptop and slid the receipt back into my pocket. My phone buzzed, a reminder that I needed to pick up Emma and Lily in 40 minutes. Ashley came downstairs in yoga pants and one of my old college sweatshirts, her hair damp and smelling like her coconut shampoo. She looked exactly like the woman I'd fallen in love with at 23. The woman who'd held my hand through my father's cancer scare. The woman who'd cried happy tears when we found out she was pregnant with Emma. "Want me to start dinner?" she asked. "Sure," I said. "That would be great." I pick up Emma and Lily from soccer practice like nothing's wrong. Like my entire world hasn't just shifted on its axis. Emma talks the whole drive home about how she almost scored a goal, and Lily complains about the grass stains on her cleats, and I make the appropriate responses at the appropriate times while my brain runs on 2 separate tracks. Ashley has dinner ready when we get home. Chicken stir-fry, one of my favorites. She's still wearing her scrubs, her hair in that messy bun, and she kisses my cheek when I walk into the kitchen. "How was your day?" she asks. "Fine. Yours?" "Exhausting. We had 3 admissions back-to-back this afternoon." She stirs the vegetables in the pan. "I'm so glad it's Friday." The girls set the table without being asked. We sit down together like we do every night. Ashley asks Emma about her almost goal. She reminds Lily to use her napkin. She tells me about one of her patients, an elderly woman recovering from hip surgery, who apparently has the entire nursing staff charmed with stories about her time as a Broadway dancer in the 60s. I watch her talk, watch her smile, watch her be the same person she's always been. Except she isn't. After dinner, the girls do homework at the dining room table while Ashley loads the dishwasher. I retreat to my office, claiming I need to finish something for work. Instead, I sit at my desk and think about what comes next. The evidence is clear, irrefutable. But I need more than just knowledge. I need to understand the full scope of what's happening before I make any moves. I pull up our joint credit card account again. This time I go back further. 6 months. 8 months. A year. The pattern emerges slowly. It started small. Coffee shops I didn't recognize, lunch places in downtown Seattle during times Ashley would have been at work. Then dinners. Then the first hotel charge, 13 months ago. The Meridian Hotel. Room 623. One night. After that, the charges become more frequent. Every few weeks at first. Then weekly. Different hotels, always local. The Paramount, the Sterling, the Waterfront Inn. Never the same place twice in a row. I cross-reference the dates with my calendar, with Ashley's work schedule that she keeps on the shared family calendar in the kitchen. Every hotel charge corresponds with a night she claimed to be working late, or covering an extra shift, or attending some hospital function. 13 months of lies. I document everything. Create a spreadsheet with dates, locations, amounts. Download the credit card statements as PDFs. Save them to an encrypted folder on my laptop. Then I check our cell phone account again. The calls to Tyler Bennett's number go back even further. 15 months. At first, just occasional, then daily. Multiple times per day. Text messages I can't access the content of, but I can see the timestamps. Late at night, early morning, during my commute to work, during the girls' soccer practices. My hands are shaking again. I make them stop. I need more information about Tyler Bennett. I need to know who this person is that my wife has been building a parallel life with. His social media profiles are semi-private, but his LinkedIn is public. Physical therapist at Seattle Memorial for 6 years. Before that, he worked at a clinic in Tacoma. Graduated from University of Washington with a degree in kinesiology. Originally from Spokane. There's a professional headshot. He's younger than me by maybe 5 years. Athletic build, dark hair. The kind of smile that probably makes patients feel comfortable during painful rehabilitation exercises. I hate him with an intensity that surprises me. But I also realize something. Hating him is easier than examining what Ashley's choices mean. He's a stranger, a convenient target. Ashley is the one who made vows. Ashley is the one who shares my bed, my life, my children. I close the laptop before I do something stupid like send him a message. The weekend passes in surreal slow motion. Saturday morning, Ashley takes the girls to their swimming lessons while I claim I need to work on a project. Instead, I sit in my office and continue building my case. I find their Venmo transactions. Ashley sent him money 3 months ago with a pizza emoji. He sent her money 2 months ago with a cocktail emoji and the caption, "Worth it." There are others going back months, all with inside jokes I don't understand. I screenshot everything. Sunday, we go to the farmer's market as a family. Ashley holds my hand while we walk between the stalls. Emma and Lily run ahead, pointing at flowers and fresh bread and a vendor selling handmade soap. Ashley buys peaches and tells me she's thinking about making a cobbler. That sounds great, I say. She squeezes my hand. You okay? You seem distracted. Just tired. Work stuff. You work too hard? She leans her head on my shoulder for a moment. Maybe we should plan a vacation. Just the two of us. Your mom could watch the girls. The suggestion feels like a knife between my ribs. Maybe. That night, after the girls are in bed, Ashley curls up next to me on the couch. We're supposed to be watching a movie, but I can't focus on the screen. She's wearing one of my old college sweatshirts and flannel pajama pants. Her hair is down, still damp from the shower. She smells like coconut shampoo. She falls asleep with her head on my shoulder. I sit there in the flickering light from the television, feeling her breathe. and wonder how many times she's come home from being with him and fallen asleep next to me just like this. Monday morning, I make a decision. After Ashley leaves for work and I drop the girls at school, I don't go to my office. Instead, I drive to Seattle Memorial Hospital. The parking lot is massive. I find a spot with a clear view of the main entrance and the employee parking area. I don't know what I'm looking for exactly. Confirmation, maybe. Visual evidence to match the digital trail. I wait for 2 hours. Watch doctors and nurses and visitors flow in and out. Check my work email on my phone and send a few responses to make it look like I'm at my desk. Then I see her. Ashley's car pulls into the employee lot. She parks, gets out, grabs her bag from the passenger seat. She's wearing navy scrubs, her hair already pulled back. She looks tired. She walks toward the entrance, and that's when I see him. Tyler Bennett emerges from a different entrance, the one marked for the rehabilitation center. He's wearing athletic pants and a polo shirt with the hospital logo. He's carrying a coffee cup. They don't approach each other, don't even acknowledge each other. But I watch Ashley's path curve slightly, and I watch Tyler pause at a bench near the entrance, and I watch Ashley sit down on that same bench a moment later, and I watch Tyler hand her the coffee cup before walking away. The whole interaction takes maybe 15 seconds. To anyone watching, it would look like nothing. A colleague handing another colleague a coffee. Barely worth noticing. But I see the way her fingers brush his when she takes the cup. I see the small smile on her face as she watches him walk away. I see her pull out her phone and type something, and I see him pull out his phone 10 steps later and smile at his screen. I sit in my car in the hospital parking lot and finally let myself feel it. The betrayal, the rage, the grief. Then I take out my phone and start making calls. The first call is to a divorce attorney. I don't have an appointment, but I explain that I need to speak with someone as soon as possible. The receptionist hears something in my voice and schedules me for tomorrow afternoon. The second call is to my bank. I ask about separating our joint accounts. The representative explains the process, warns me about legal implications, suggests I consult with my attorney first. The third call is to my brother in Portland. I tell him I need to talk, but not over the phone. He hears it too, whatever quality my voice has taken on. He tells me to come down this weekend. I make one more call. To a private investigator whose name I found through a legal forum online. I explain what I need: professional documentation of Ashley's affair. Photos, if possible. A detailed report I can use in divorce proceedings. The investigator's voice is matter of fact, almost bored. He's heard this story 1,000 times. He quotes me a rate. I agree without negotiating. Then I drive to work and spend the rest of the day pretending to care about code reviews and sprint planning while my phone sits on my desk, waiting for the investigator to send me his contract. That evening, Ashley comes home with takeout from our favorite Thai place. She's smiling, relaxed. She tells me about her day. Carefully edited, I now realize. She mentions patients and paperwork in a staff meeting. She doesn't mention coffee in the parking lot or text messages or the man whose number appears on our phone bill more often than mine does. We eat pad thai and green curry with the girls. We help with homework. We watch an episode of the cooking competition show Lily loves. We put them to bed together, taking turns reading chapters from the book we're working through. Then Ashley goes to take a shower, and I sit on our bed and sign the private investigator's contract on my phone. I'm done gathering evidence myself. Now I'm bringing in professionals. The private investigator's name was Dennis Walsh. He called me 3 days after I'd hired him, while I was sitting in my car outside Emma's gymnastics class. "I've got what you need," he said. His voice had that professional neutrality that people develop when they deliver bad news for a living. "Can you meet this afternoon?" His office was in a strip mall in Bellevue, wedged between a tax preparation service and a nail salon. The waiting room smelled like stale coffee and had exactly 3 chairs. Dennis was maybe 55, gray haircut, military short, wearing a polo shirt with his company logo embroidered on the chest. He didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Your wife and Tyler Bennett have been meeting at the Residence Inn in Kirkland every Thursday afternoon for the past 7 months, he said, sliding a manila folder across his desk. Before that, they rotated between 3 different locations. I've documented 4 separate encounters over the past 2 weeks. I opened the folder. Photographs, time-stamped and dated. Ashley's car in the hotel parking lot. Tyler's truck 2 spaces over. The 2 of them entering the lobby together at 2:47 p.m., leaving separately 3 hours later. Ashley's hair was different in the photos, down instead of up, styled instead of thrown back in her usual messy bun. She was wearing clothes I recognized. A blue dress I'd complimented her on last month. The leather jacket I'd bought her for Christmas. "They're careful," Dennis continued. "They park in different areas, enter separately when they remember to, but they've gotten comfortable, sloppy. Thursday is her short day at the hospital. She clocks out at 2 p.m. He blocks out his schedule from 2:30 to 6 mar. They probably think the routine makes it less suspicious." My hands weren't shaking anymore. I'd moved past that phase into something colder. "There's more," Dennis said. He pulled out another set of photos. "They met for dinner last Saturday at a place called the Lake House. You were home with your daughters that night, correct?" I was. Ashley had said she was meeting her friend Jenna for a birthday dinner. I'd made mac and cheese for the girls and we'd watched a movie. In the photos, Ashley and Tyler sat across from each other at a table by the window. In one shot, his hand covered hers on the table. In another, she was laughing at something he'd said, her head tilted back in a way that looked completely natural, completely happy. "I can continue surveillance if you need more documentation," Dennis said. "But honestly, you've got enough here for any divorce proceeding. The pattern is established. The evidence is clear." I looked at the timestamps again. Thursday, April 4th, 2:51 p.m. Thursday, April 11th, 3:03 p.m. Thursday, April 18th, 2:47 p.m. Yesterday had been Thursday, April 25th. I'd been in back-to-back meetings all afternoon. Ashley had come home at 6:30, kissed me on the cheek, and asked how my day was while she started dinner. "What do I owe you?" I asked. Dennis quoted a number. I wrote him a check right there, my handwriting steady and clear. He gave me a receipt and a thumb drive with digital copies of everything. "I'm sorry," he said as I stood to leave. "I know that doesn't help, but I am." I drove home on autopilot. The folder sat on my passenger seat like a living thing. Physical evidence, professional documentation. The kind of proof that couldn't be explained away or rationalized. Ashley's car was already in the driveway when I pulled in. I could hear music playing inside the house. She was cooking dinner. Something with garlic. The smell hit me when I opened the door. "Hey," she called from the kitchen. "You're home early." I set my laptop bag down in its usual spot by the door. Put my keys in the bowl on the hall table. The folder stayed in my car, locked in the trunk with all the other evidence I'd been accumulating. "Meetings got canceled," I said, walking into the kitchen. She was at the stove stirring something in a pan. Her hair was up in that messy bun again. She'd changed into yoga pants and one of my old college shirts, the same outfit she wore 100 other nights. "Good," she said, smiling at me over her shoulder. "I'm making that chicken piccata you like. It'll be ready in 20 minutes. Emma and Lily were at the kitchen table doing homework. Emma was working on a math worksheet, her tongue sticking out slightly in concentration. Lily was coloring something with intense focus, her markers spread out in a careful rainbow. "Daddy," Lily looked up. "Look what I made at school." She held up a drawing of our family. 4 stick figures holding hands in front of a house. A yellow sun in the corner. Our dog, Bailey, rendered as a brown blob with a smiling face. "It's beautiful, sweetheart," I said. The words came out normal. My voice sounded like it always did. I walked over and kissed the top of her head, then Emma's. They smelled like the strawberry shampoo Ashley bought in bulk from Costco. Ashley glanced at me, still smiling. "Can you set the table?" I got plates from the cabinet. 4 plates, like always. Forks and knives from the drawer. Napkins from the holder on the counter. I'd performed these exact movements thousands of times in this kitchen. The muscle memory was so ingrained I could do it without thinking. We ate dinner together. Ashley asked Emma about her math test. Emma complained about her teacher. Lily told a long, rambling story about something that happened at recess. Ashley's foot brushed against mine under the table, an absent, familiar gesture she'd done for years. I responded at the right moments, laughed when I was supposed to, asked follow-up questions, helped Lily cut her chicken into smaller pieces. After dinner, Ashley gave the girls their baths while I cleaned up the kitchen. I loaded the dishwasher, wiped down the counters, put away the leftovers. Through the ceiling, I could hear water running and the girls' voices, high and bright. My phone buzzed. A text from my attorney, Philip Brennan. Got the retainer. First court date set for discovery hearing. Will need all documentation by next Friday. Call me tomorrow to discuss strategy. I deleted the text and put my phone back in my pocket. Ashley came downstairs 40 minutes later, her shirt damp from bath time. "They want you to read to them tonight," she said. Fair warning, Lily picked the longest book on the shelf. I went upstairs, read 3 chapters of a book about dragons, tucked both girls into their beds, kissed them goodnight, turned on their nightlights. Emma was already half asleep, but Lily grabbed my hand as I stood to leave. "Daddy?" "Yeah, baby?" "Is everything okay?" My chest constricted. "Of course." "Why?" She shrugged, her small shoulders moving under her princess blanket. "You seem sad." "I'm not sad," I said, smoothing her hair back from her forehead. "I'm just tired. But I love you very much." "Love you too," she murmured, already drifting off. Downstairs, Ashley was on the couch with her laptop, probably charting patient notes. I sat down next to her, close enough that our legs touched. She leaned into me automatically, her head resting on my shoulder. "Long day?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "You?" "The usual. We had a patient code in the ER, but he's stabilized. Lots of paperwork." She was lying. She'd been at the Residence Inn in Kirkland with Tyler Bennett from 2:47 p.m. until sometime after 6. The hotel was 20 minutes from our house. She'd probably showered there, changed back into her scrubs, driven home, and walked in the door like it was just another Thursday. Her phone was on the coffee table, face down. I watched it while she typed notes on her laptop. It buzzed once. A text notification. She glanced at it but didn't pick it up, I'm gonna finish these charts and then head to bed, she said after a while. I'm exhausted. Okay, I said. She kissed me before she went upstairs. A quick, casual kiss that meant nothing and everything. I stayed on the couch, listening to her move around in our bedroom above me. Water running in the bathroom. The creak of the bed as she got in. My phone was still in my pocket. The thumb drive from Dennis Walsh was in my laptop bag. The folder was in my trunk. Months of evidence, professionally documented and legally admissible. I had everything I needed. I just had to decide when to use it. The prison's visiting schedule is public information. I pull it up on my phone while sitting in my car outside Emma's gymnastics practice, watching through the windowed wall as my daughter flips across a foam beam, her ponytail bouncing with each movement. Thursdays, 2:04 p.m. The same Thursdays, Ashley's been disappearing to the Residence Inn in Kirkland. Except she hasn't been going to a hotel. Not anymore. I scroll back through the credit card statements on my laptop, the ones I've memorized by now. The Residence Inn charges stopped 6 weeks ago. Just stopped, mid-pattern, like someone flipped a switch. I'd noticed it during my obsessive documentation, but assumed they'd switched locations, gotten more careful, maybe started using cash. But there are no restaurant charges either. No coffee shops. No gas stations in Kirkland. Instead, there's a new pattern. Small purchases at a convenience store in Renton, always on Thursdays. 8:47, 12:33, 15:78. The kind of amounts that don't mean anything until you're looking for them to mean something. The convenience store is 2 blocks from Cedar Ridge Correctional Facility. My hands are steady on the keyboard. That's the strange part. I'm not shaking anymore. Haven't been for days. There's a certain clarity that comes from watching your entire life reveal itself as a lie. Everything becomes evidence. Everything becomes data. I pull up Ashley's work schedule, cross-reference it with my timeline. She works 3 12-hour shifts per week at Seattle Memorial. Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. Has for the past 8 years. Except 2 months ago, she picked up a 4th shift. Thursdays, she told me. Extra money for the kitchen renovation we'd been planning. I'd been grateful. Proud of her work ethic, her dedication to our family. I open a new browser tab and search for Cedar Ridge Correctional Facility employment opportunities. Correctional officer positions available. Flexible scheduling. Competitive benefits. I click through to the staff directory. It takes 15 minutes of searching, cross-referencing departments, but I find it. Ashley's name, listed under part-time correctional staff. Start date, 8 weeks ago. The gymnastics coach calls for water break. Emma waves at me through the window, her face flushed and happy. I wave back. My hand moves normally. My face does whatever faces do when fathers wave at daughters. Inside, I'm doing the math. Ashley never mentioned a second job, never mentioned working at a prison. She leaves the house Thursday afternoons in her regular clothes, comes home in her regular clothes, talks about her shift at the hospital like it happened. But she's not going to the hospital. She's going to Cedar Ridge. And Tyler Bennett, I pull up his social media again, scroll back through posts I've already analyzed frame by frame. There, 3 years ago. A photo of him with another man, both in orange jumpsuits, holding a basketball. The caption, "Throwback to County League Finals before life got complicated. Free my boy Jay, justice reform." The other man is tagged, Jason Pruitt. I search the name with Cedar Ridge Correctional. Inmate Jason Pruitt. Serving 8 years for coordinated theft and fraud. Eligible for parole in 14 months. My phone buzzes. Ashley. Running late, can you grab Lily from swimming? I'll get Emma from gymnastics. I text back, no problem. Then I drive to Lily's swim practice, help her dry off and change, take her to get frozen yogurt because she asks, and I can't think of a reason to say no. We sit in the bright, sterile shop while she tells me about her butterfly stroke, and I nod and respond and act like a father whose wife isn't smuggling contraband into a state correctional facility. Because that's what this is. Has to be. The pieces fit too perfectly. Tyler on the outside, Ashley on the inside, Jason Pruitt coordinating from behind bars. The small convenience store purchases, burner phones probably, prepaid cards, whatever you can break down and hide. I spend that night in my home office after everyone's asleep. The private investigator's reports are in a locked drawer, but I don't need them now. I need different information. Cedar Ridge had a scandal 2 years ago. I find the news articles buried in local coverage. 3 correctional officers fired for accepting bribes, looking the other way during cell searches. The investigation mentioned ongoing criminal enterprises being run from inside the facility, drug distribution networks, identity theft operations, inmates with cell phones coordinating crimes on the outside. The investigation went nowhere. Insufficient evidence. The fired officers took plea deals, served no time. I create a new folder on my encrypted drive. Start downloading everything. Ashley's work schedule, the credit card statements, Tyler's social media history, Jason Pruitt's criminal record and known associates. Then I do something I haven't done since I found that first hotel receipt. I go through Ashley's phone. She leaves it charging in the kitchen overnight. The passcode is Lily's birthday. It's always been Lily's birthday. I sit at the kitchen table in the dark and scroll through messages I have no legal right to see. The texts with Tyler are careful now, vague. Package delivered and everything smooth, and JP says thanks. Nothing explicit, nothing provable. But there's a new contact, just a number, no name. The messages are even more careful, coordinates, almost. Thursday 2:30, and usual spot, and need more this week. I photograph everything with my own phone. Every message, every call log, every contact. Then I find the photos she's hidden in a locked folder. The password is our anniversary. June 14th. They're not romantic photos. They're documentation. Pictures of cell phones still in packaging. Stacks of cash. Small plastic bags with pills I don't recognize. A handwritten list of names and numbers. And one photo of Ashley in her correctional officer uniform, standing next to Tyler, both of them smiling. Jason Pruitt is visible in the background through what looks like a visiting room window. I photograph everything. Put her phone back exactly where I found it. Walk upstairs to our bedroom where my wife sleeps peacefully, her blonde hair spread across her pillow, one hand tucked under her cheek like a child. I lie down next to her. Stare at the ceiling. Listen to her breathe. In the morning, I make breakfast. Emma wants pancakes. Lily wants waffles. I make both. Ashley comes downstairs in her scrubs. Her real scrubs. The ones she wears to the hospital on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. "You're amazing," she says, kissing my cheek. "I don't know what we'd do without you." "Just doing my part," I say. She leaves for her actual shift at Seattle Memorial. I take the girls to school, come home to my office and open my laptop. The FBI's public corruption hotline is easy to find. So is the Washington State Department of Corrections Internal Affairs Division. But I don't call them. Not yet. Instead, I call Philip Brennan, my divorce attorney. I need to add something to the discovery, I say. My wife isn't just having an affair. She's committing federal crimes. There's a long pause. Explain. So I do. All of it. The timeline, the evidence, the pattern I've uncovered. When I finish, Brennan is quiet for a moment. Then, this is beyond divorce proceedings. You understand that? If what you're saying is true, you're talking about federal corruption charges. Prison time. Not just for your wife, but potentially for you if you've known about this and haven't reported it. I'm reporting it now. To me. I'm your divorce attorney, not law enforcement. You need to contact the FBI. Today. I will, I say. But I need to know, for the divorce, for custody, does this help? Another pause. Longer this time. A wife facing federal prison time doesn't get custody of minor children. Yes, it helps. I thank him. Hang up. Then I sit in my office, in the house I share with a woman I don't know, and I dial the FBI. The agent who answers sounds bored until I mention Cedar Ridge Correctional Facility. Then his tone sharpens. I need you to send everything you have to an email address I'm going to give you, he says. Don't delete anything from your devices. Don't confront anyone involved. Can you do that? Yes? How long have you known about this? I discovered it yesterday. A lie, but a necessary one. Good, he says. Send the files within the hour. Someone will contact you within 24 hours. Do not discuss this with anyone, including your wife. I send the files. Every photograph, every document, every piece of evidence I've compiled. Then I pick up Lily from swimming and Emma from soccer practice, and we go home to wait for their mother. The FBI called on Tuesday morning while I was making breakfast. Emma and Lily were arguing over the last blueberry waffle, and Ashley had already left for her shift at Seattle Memorial, or so she'd said. Mr. Patterson, this is Special Agent Diane Foster with the FBI. We received your report regarding potential criminal activity at Cedar Ridge Correctional Facility. I stepped into the garage, pulled the door closed behind me. Yes, I sent everything I had. We'd like to meet with you today if possible. We have some questions about the evidence you provided, and we need to discuss next steps. My hand tightened on the phone. Today? The sooner the better. This is a priority matter. Can you come to our Seattle field office at 2 o'clock? I thought about my calendar, the meetings I'd need to reschedule. I'll be there. Come to the Fifth Avenue entrance. Bring any additional documentation you might have. Phone records, financial statements, anything that supports what you've already sent us. After I hung up, I stood in the garage for a long moment, staring at Ashley's car. The same car where I'd found that first receipt. How many times had she driven to Cedar Ridge in this vehicle, contraband hidden somewhere I'd never thought to look? I fed the girls, got them to school, then spent 3 hours at my desk pulling together every piece of evidence I'd collected. Bank statements showing the pattern of cash withdrawals. Screenshots from Ashley's phone showing her text exchanges with Tyler. The photos Dennis had taken of Ashley entering the prison facility. The call logs connecting Tyler to Jason Pruitt. The FBI field office occupied several floors of a downtown building with views of Elliott Bay. Agent Foster met me in the lobby, mid-40s, dark hair pulled back, eyes that missed nothing. She was accompanied by a younger agent who introduced himself as Kevin Wright. They led me to a small conference room with a recording device on the table. We're going to record this conversation, Foster said. Standard procedure. You're not under investigation, Mr. Patterson, but we need a complete statement from you regarding what you've discovered. I nodded. My throat felt dry. For the next 90 minutes, I walked them through everything. How I'd found the hotel receipt, the private investigator, the discovery of Ashley's second job, the evidence of contraband smuggling. Foster took notes while Wright operated a laptop, pulling up the files I'd sent them. You said your wife has been working at Cedar Ridge for approximately 6 weeks? Foster asked. Based on when the hotel charges stopped and the convenience store purchases near the prison began. Yes? And you believe she's been smuggling cell phones, cash, and narcotics into the facility? The text messages reference deliveries. There are photos on her phone showing bundles of cash, references to packages and drop points. She's been meeting with Tyler Bennett, who has documented connections to Jason Pruitt, an inmate at Cedar Ridge. Wright turned his laptop toward Foster, showing her something on the screen. They exchanged a look I couldn't read. Mr. Patterson, Foster said carefully, Jason Pruitt is a person of interest in an ongoing investigation. We've been tracking a criminal network operating out of Cedar Ridge for the past 8 months. Pruitt is suspected of coordinating drug distribution and identity theft operations from inside the prison. The room seemed to tilt slightly. You already knew about this? We knew about Pruitt's activities. What we didn't have was evidence of who was bringing contraband into the facility. Your wife's involvement is new information, and it's exactly what we need to move forward. Wright pulled up another file. Tyler Bennett has been on our radar as well. We believe he's recruiting correctional staff to work with Pruitt's organization. Your wife might not be the only guard involved. I thought about Ashley putting on her uniform each morning, kissing the girls goodbye. What happens now? We need to verify the evidence you've provided and coordinate with the Washington State Department of Corrections. This will likely involve surveillance of your wife and Mr. Bennett, as well as monitoring of communications going in and out of the prison. How long will that take? Foster's expression was sympathetic but firm. These investigations take time. We need to build an airtight case before we make arrests. We're talking about federal corruption charges, conspiracy, drug trafficking. We can't move until we have everything documented. Weeks? Months? Weeks, most likely. We already have infrastructure in place from our existing investigation into Pruitt. Adding your wife and Bennett to the surveillance won't take long. Wright leaned forward. We need you to continue acting normally at home. Don't confront your wife. Don't let her know you're aware of any of this. Can you do that? I'd been doing it for days already. Yes? If she suspects we're investigating, she could destroy evidence or warn the others. That would compromise the entire operation. I understand. Foster slid a business card across the table. Call me if you observe anything unusual. Any changes in her behavior, any conversations that seem relevant. Don't try to gather more evidence yourself. Just observe and report. I pocketed the card. What about my daughters? When you arrest her, we'll coordinate the timing to minimize impact on your children. Arrests will likely happen during work hours, away from your home. Foster's voice softened. I know this is difficult. You're doing the right thing. The right thing felt like watching my family disintegrate in slow motion. I left the federal building at 4:30, drove to pick up Emma and Lily from after-school care. They climbed into the back seat arguing about a game they'd played at recess, their voices bright and uncomplicated. Where's Mom? Emma asked as I pulled out of the parking lot. Working late. It's just us for dinner. I took them to a burger place they loved, let them order milkshakes, watch them dip fries in ketchup and talk about their day. Normal. Everything had to look normal. My phone buzzed while we were eating. A text from Ashley. Running behind. Don't wait up. I stared at the message. Was she actually at Seattle Memorial? Or was she at Cedar Ridge, passing contraband to inmates, helping criminals run operations from behind bars? I typed back, no problem. Girls and I are having burgers. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Then, save me some fries. With a heart emoji. I set the phone down, focused on my daughters. Emma was telling Lily about a book she'd read, something about dragons and magic. Lily was only half listening, more interested in building a tower out of sugar packets. These were the moments I needed to preserve. Whatever happened next, arrests, trials, the complete destruction of the life we'd built, I had to make sure Emma and Lily were protected. We got home at 7. I supervised homework, ran baths, read bedtime stories. The house felt too quiet after the girls fell asleep. I sat in my office, staring at the evidence spread across my desk. Agent Foster had taken copies of everything, but I'd kept the originals. Bank statements, phone records, screenshots. My phone buzzed. Another text from Ashley. Heading home now. Long day. 20 minutes later, I heard the garage door open. I gathered the papers, locked them in my filing cabinet, and went downstairs. Ashley was in the kitchen, pulling leftovers from the refrigerator. She'd changed out of her scrubs into jeans and a sweater. Her hair was down, and she looked tired. "Hey," she said, giving me a quick smile. "How are the girls?" "Good, they're asleep." She found the container of fries, popped one in her mouth. "These are cold. I can heat them up." "No, it's fine." She leaned against the counter, studying me. "You okay? You seem tense." I met her eyes. "Just work stuff. Big project deadline coming up." She nodded, accepting the lie as easily as I'd accepted hers for the past year. "Want to watch something? I'm too wired to sleep." We ended up on the couch, some crime procedural playing on the TV. Ashley curled against my side, her head on my shoulder, and I wondered if she felt anything. Guilt, fear, remorse. Or if this was just another performance, another layer of deception in a life built on lies. On the screen, detectives were interrogating a suspect, breaking down his alibi piece by piece. Ashley's breathing had slowed, and I thought she might be falling asleep. My phone was in my pocket, Agent Foster's number saved. The FBI was watching Ashley now, documenting her movements, building their case. Soon this would all be over. Soon everything would fall apart. But not tonight. Tonight we were just a married couple on a couch, watching TV in the quiet darkness of our home. I closed my eyes and tried not to think about what came next. The waiting is its own kind of torture. 3 days since my meeting with Agent Foster. 3 days of watching Ashley move through our house like everything is normal, kissing me goodbye before her shifts at Cedar Ridge, asking Emma about her book report, reminding Lily to practice piano. 3 days of me pretending I don't know she's smuggling contraband to a career criminal who's running God knows what kind of operation from behind bars. I'm sitting in my home office on Thursday evening when my phone buzzes. Unknown number. "This is Agent Foster. We need to meet. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., same location as before." The call disconnects before I can respond. I stare at the phone, my pulse hammering. This is it. They're moving forward. They must have enough evidence now. Ashley's voice floats up from downstairs. "Honey, did you want pasta or chicken for dinner?" "Either's fine," I call back, and my voice sounds remarkably steady. That night, she falls asleep with her head on my shoulder while we watch some cooking competition show. Her breathing is slow and even. Peaceful. I wonder if she'll sleep this well in a federal detention center. The coffee shop is nearly empty when I arrive at 9:55 a.m. Agent Foster is already there, same corner table, but this time Agent Wright is with her. They both look serious. "Thanks for coming," Foster says as I sit down. "We're executing search warrants and making arrests Monday morning. We wanted to give you advance notice." Monday. 4 days from now. What happens? My throat is dry. "Coordinated operation," Wright says. "We'll arrest Tyler Bennett at his residence at 6 a.m. Ashley will be taken into custody when she reports for her shift at Cedar Ridge at 7:30. We're also arresting 3 other correctional officers and 2 civilians connected to the smuggling network." 7 people. This thing is bigger than I thought. "Jason Pruitt?" I ask. "He'll be transferred to federal custody and face additional charges," Foster says. "We've documented his operation extensively. He's been running an identity theft ring, coordinating drug distribution in 3 counties, and managing a phone fraud scheme that's netted approximately $200,000 in the past year. All from his cell in Cedar Ridge. $200,000. How much of that money went to Ashley?" The question tastes bitter. Foster exchanges a glance with Wright. "We've traced approximately $38,000 to accounts she controls. Some direct deposits, some cash that she deposited in small amounts over several months. Tyler Bennett received roughly $52,000. I think about our mortgage payments, Emma's orthodontist bills, the family vacation to Disneyland we took last summer. Was that funded by prison corruption money? Were my daughter's Christmas presents bought with cash from a criminal enterprise?" "What should I do?" I ask. "Between now and Monday?" "Act completely normal," Foster says. "Don't change any routines. Don't ask unusual questions. Don't give her any reason to suspect something's wrong." "Does she seem suspicious at all?" Wright asks. "Any indication she knows we're watching?" I think about the past 3 days. Ashley complaining about her supervisor at the prison. Ashley helping Lily with fractions at the kitchen table. Ashley asking if I'd remembered to schedule the oil change for her car. "No," I say. "She seems normal, like nothing's wrong." Foster nods. "That's common. Some people compartmentalize extremely well. They genuinely believe they won't get caught." "What about my daughters?" The question I've been dreading. "What happens to them when you arrest their mother?" "That's between you and family court," Foster says, not unkindly. "But we'll execute the warrant early before the kids are awake. You'll need to be home to take care of them. We recommend not having them present for the arrest." "Can I take them somewhere that morning?" "No," Wright says firmly. "We need you at the residence, but you can have them stay in their rooms. We'll be as discreet as possible." Discreet. FBI agents arresting my wife for federal corruption charges while our daughters sleep upstairs. There's no discreet version of that. "We'll need you to make a formal statement Monday afternoon," Foster continues. "After the arrests. Everything you discovered, the timeline, the evidence you found. It'll be part of the prosecution's case." "Will I have to testify?" "Possibly. Depends on whether this goes to trial or if they take plea deals." I imagine sitting in a courtroom testifying against Ashley while she sits at the defense table. Emma and Lily in the gallery, watching their father help send their mother to prison. "How long?" I ask. "If she's convicted, how long?" Foster's expression is carefully neutral. Federal corruption charges, conspiracy, money laundering, facilitating criminal enterprise. She's looking at minimum 8 years, possibly 15 depending on the judge and whether she cooperates. 15 years. Lily would be 23. Emma, 25. They'd grow up without their mother. Tyler Bennett is facing similar charges, Wright adds. Pruitt's looking at an additional 20 to 30 years on top of his current sentence. I should feel something. Satisfaction, maybe. Justice being served. But all I feel is hollow. One more thing, Foster says. After the arrests become public, there will be media attention. Prison corruption cases draw coverage. You should prepare for that. Reporters may contact you, camp out near your house. We recommend you don't speak to any of them. Perfect. My daughters get to see their mother's mugshot on the evening news. What about the prison? I ask. Cedar Ridge? The Department of Corrections is cooperating fully, Wright says. There will be a complete security review, staff changes, new protocols. But yes, this will damage the facility's credibility significantly. I think about all the other inmates at Cedar Ridge, the ones who weren't running criminal empires, who were just serving their time. How many contraband phones are in there? How many guards are compromised? How much of the facility's security has been a complete fiction? Is there anything else I need to know? I ask. Foster hesitates. We found evidence that Ashley made contact with 2 other inmates besides Pruitt. We're still investigating the extent of those relationships, but there may be additional charges. Additional charges. Additional inmates. How deep does this go? The Ashley you married, Foster says quietly, and the person she became. Those might be very different people. I've seen it before. Good people make bad choices, then make worse choices to cover up the first ones. Eventually, they're so far down the path they can't see the way back. I don't want her sympathy. I don't want her psychological analysis. I just want this to be over. Anything else? I ask. That's everything for now. We'll be in touch Monday morning before we execute the warrants. Keep your phone on. I stand up. My legs feel unsteady. Mr. Davis, Wright says. I'd almost forgotten they know my name, even though I've been trying to keep it out of my own narrative. You did the right thing. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you did. I walk out without responding. The weekend stretches out like a nightmare in slow motion. Saturday morning, Ashley makes pancakes. Emma wants chocolate chips in hers. Lily wants blueberries. Ashley stands at the stove flipping pancakes, humming along to some song on the radio. She's wearing my old college sweatshirt, the one with the faded logo. You're quiet, she says, glancing at me. Everything okay? Just tired, I say. Work stuff. She kisses my forehead as she sets a plate in front of me. You work too hard. The irony is suffocating. Sunday, we take the girls to the park. It's one of those perfect Pacific Northwest spring days, all sunshine and cherry blossoms. Ashley pushes Lily on the swings while Emma practices cartwheels on the grass. We look like a normal family, a happy family. My phone is in my pocket, heavy as a stone. Monday morning, it will ring. Agents will arrive at our door. This will all end. That night, after the girls are in bed, Ashley curls up next to me on the couch. I love you, she says. I wonder if she means it. I wonder if she ever meant it, or if I've been living with a stranger for 13 months. Longer, maybe. How far back does the deception go? I love you too, I say, because what else can I say? She falls asleep against my shoulder. I stay awake until past midnight, watching her breathe, wondering who she really is. The weekend stretches ahead like a minefield. 72 hours of maintaining normalcy while everything I know is scheduled to detonate Monday morning. Saturday begins with Emma's soccer game. Ashley makes pancakes, humming along to something on the radio while I pour orange juice and pretend my hands aren't shaking. The kitchen smells like maple syrup and coffee, exactly like every other Saturday morning for the past 12 years. "You're quiet this morning," Ashley says, sliding pancakes onto Lily's plate. "Didn't sleep well." True enough, I'd spent most of the night staring at the ceiling, replaying Agent Foster's words. Coordinated arrests, Monday morning, 7:30. Ashley crosses behind my chair, squeezes my shoulder. "You work too hard. Maybe we should plan something. A weekend away, just us. My mom could watch the girls." The casual cruelty of it steals my breath. She's planning romantic getaways while sitting on $38,000 in blood money, while Jason Pruitt coordinates identity theft from his cell, while Tyler Bennett recruits more corrupted guards. "Maybe," I manage. At the soccer field, I stand with the other parents, clapping at the right moments, making appropriate comments about the weather and the team's chances this season. Ashley sits in her folding chair, scrolling through her phone between plays. I wonder if she's texting Tyler, or checking burner phone messages from Pruitt, or coordinating the next contraband drop. She looks so normal. Yoga pants and a fleece jacket, hair in that messy bun she always wears on weekends. She cheers when Emma steals the ball, cups her hands around her mouth to yell encouragement. A regular suburban mom at her daughter's soccer game. The cognitive dissonance makes my head throb. Emma scores in the second half. Ashley jumps up, screaming with genuine joy. We hug each other in celebration, and for one surreal moment I'm holding my wife, feeling her warmth, breathing in that coconut shampoo, while knowing she'll be in federal custody in 48 hours. "I'm so proud of her," Ashley says against my shoulder. I think about Agent Foster's file, the surveillance photos, the itemized list of contraband Ashley smuggled past security checkpoints, the recorded phone calls between Pruitt and his outside contacts, coordinated through the phones Ashley provided. "Me too," I say. That afternoon, while Ashley takes the girls to Target for school supplies, I meet Dennis Walsh at a coffee shop in Fremont. He slides into the booth across from me, looking even more tired than usual. "You holding up?" he asks. "Not really." He nods like he expected that answer. "FBI contacted me Thursday. Wanted copies of everything I had on Tyler Bennett and your wife. I gave them the full file." "What happens to you after Monday?" "I'll probably have to testify eventually. Grand jury, maybe trial if it goes that far." He stirs his coffee. Federal corruption cases are complicated. Lots of moving parts. They'll flip someone, usually whoever's lowest on the ladder, and use their testimony to build the case against everyone else. "You think Ashley will flip?" "Depends what they offer her. Depends how scared she is." He meets my eyes. "Depends how much she actually knows about the full operation." That's been gnawing at me. Agent Foster said there were multiple inmates in Ashley's contact logs, multiple schemes running simultaneously. How deep does this go? "The Bureau's been watching Cedar Ridge for 8 months, Dennis continues. "Your wife's not the only guard involved. Tyler Bennett's recruited at least 4 others they know about. Maybe more. 4 other families about to implode. 4 other people living through their last normal weekend before everything falls apart." Did they say anything about the kids? The question comes out rougher than I intended. Dennis's expression softens slightly. "No. But you're not implicated in any of this. You've got documentation showing you had no knowledge of her second job or the criminal activity. That'll matter for custody." Custody. The word feels like swallowing glass. I'm already planning to raise my daughters alone, already mapping out a future where their mother visits from federal prison. Thanks, I say, though I'm not sure what I'm thanking him for. One more thing. Dennis pulls out a manila envelope. This came through yesterday. More recent surveillance on Tyler Bennett. I don't want to open it. I've seen enough evidence, enough proof. But my hands move anyway, sliding out the photographs. Tyler Bennett entering an apartment building in Capitol Hill. Tyler Bennett with another woman, not Ashley, outside a restaurant in Ballard. The woman is younger, maybe late 20s, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. Who is she? Correctional officer at Cedar Ridge. Started 3 months ago. Dennis taps the photo. Name's Victoria Hayes. Tyler's already recruiting her replacement for Ashley. The bottom drops out of my stomach. Ashley doesn't know. Probably not. From what the FBI told me, Tyler runs multiple operations simultaneously. Guards think they're his only inside contact, but he's got backups and contingencies built into everything. So Ashley isn't even special. She's just another corrupted guard in Tyler's network, easily replaceable, already being replaced. The affair that destroyed our marriage was just business infrastructure for him. I slide the photos back into the envelope. Does the FBI know about Victoria Hayes? They do now. I sent them everything this morning. When I get home, Ashley's in the kitchen making dinner. The girls are upstairs doing homework. Everything is aggressively, painfully normal. How was your afternoon? Ashley asks, chopping vegetables for a salad. Fine. Grabbed coffee with a friend. Anyone I know? The question is casual, innocent. She has no idea I just spent an hour discussing her imminent arrest with a private investigator. Just someone from work? She nods, satisfied, and goes back to chopping. I watch her hands move. Capable, efficient, the same hands that have held our daughters, touched my face, smuggled contraband past metal detectors. I was thinking, Ashley says, not looking up from the cutting board. Maybe we should plan that trip soon. Before summer gets too crazy, we could go back to Cannon Beach like we did for our anniversary. Our 10th anniversary, 2 years ago, before any of this started, when I still believed I knew who I was married to. That sounds nice, I lie. She smiles at me, genuine warmth in her eyes. I know things have been busy lately, with my schedule and your projects. But we're good, right? Us? The question hangs in the air between us. She's asking if our marriage is solid while planning a romantic getaway with money she earned smuggling drugs into prison. While Tyler Bennett recruits her replacement. While federal agents prepare arrest warrants. Yeah, I say. We're good. That night, after the girls are asleep, Ashley curls against me in bed. Her breathing evens out quickly. She's always been able to fall asleep fast. I lie awake, feeling the weight of her arm across my chest, listening to the quiet sounds of our house settling. 40 hours until the arrests. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. A text from Agent Foster. Everything on schedule. Monday, 07:30. We'll have victim services contact you after to discuss next steps with your daughters. Victim services. Because Emma and Lily are victims in this too. Their mother will be arrested. Perp walked out of Cedar Ridge in handcuffs, processed and arraigned, and held pending bail hearing. They'll see it eventually, on the news, online, whispered about at school. I type back, understood. Ashley shifts in her sleep, murmuring something I can't make out. Her hand finds mine under the covers, fingers interlacing automatically. Even unconscious, she reaches for me. I think about Victoria Hayes, the new guard Tyler's already grooming. I think about Jason Pruitt, coordinating his empire from behind bars. I think about all the other inmates in Ashley's contact logs, all the other schemes still running. Agent Foster said the arrests would cripple the operation, but she also said there were contingencies, backups, other guards already recruited. Tyler Bennett doesn't put all his resources in one place. The prison system is compromised. Not just Cedar Ridge. Agent Foster mentioned coordinated investigations at 3 other facilities in Washington. How many more guards are there? How many more Tyler Bennett's recruiting them? How many more Jason Pruitt's running operations from inside? Ashley's arrest won't end this. It'll barely slow it down. But it'll end us. End our family. End everything Emma and Lily have ever known as normal. I extract my hand for Ashley's and slip out of bed. Downstairs in my office, I open my laptop and start documenting everything. Not for the FBI, they have their evidence. This is for the girls. For someday when they're old enough to ask questions. When they want to know what happened to their family. I write until dawn breaks through the window, until I hear Ashley's alarm going off upstairs. One more day. Sunday unfolds with the surreal clarity of a condemned man's last meal. Ashley makes French toast for breakfast. Lily spills syrup on her pajamas. Emma complains about having to finish her book report. The morning sun streams through our kitchen windows, illuminating dust motes in the air. And I memorize every detail because tomorrow this kitchen will be a crime scene. "You're staring," Ashley says, catching me watching her wipe down the counter. "Just thinking how lucky I am," I say. It's not entirely a lie. For 12 years, I was lucky. I had a partner, a family, a life that made sense. The fact that it was built on sand doesn't erase those years, doesn't make Emma's first steps less real, or Lily's laugh less genuine, or the 1,000 small moments of happiness less valid. They just make the betrayal more complete. We take the girls to the Arboretum that afternoon. It's unseasonably warm, cherry blossoms drifting down like pink snow. Ashley holds my hand while we walk, and I let her. Emma and Lily run ahead on the path, chasing each other around trees, their voices bright with uncomplicated joy. "This is perfect," Ashley says, squeezing my fingers. "We should do this more often." "Yeah," I say. "We should." My phone is heavy in my pocket. Agent Foster's final text came through an hour ago. "All units in position. Warrant signed. Execution 0730 tomorrow. Keep your phone on." Ashley's phone buzzes. She checks it, smiles slightly, types something back. I don't ask who it is. Don't need to. In 18 hours, federal agents will have access to every message, every call, every piece of digital evidence that proves what she's become. That evening, we order pizza and watch a movie as a family. Some animated thing about talking animals that Lily picked. Emma pretends it's too babyish for her, but laughs at all the jokes anyway. Ashley sits between the girls on the couch, an arm around each of them, and I sit in the chair across from them, watching, memorizing. After the girls are in bed, Ashley pours 2 glasses of wine and brings them to the living room. We sit together in the quiet darkness, her head on my shoulder. "I'm glad we had today," she says softly. "Sometimes I forget how good we have it. The wine tastes like ashes." "Me too." "I mean it. I know I've been distracted lately with work and everything, but you and the girls, you're everything to me. You know that, right?" I think about the $38,000, the contraband phones, the text messages with Tyler Bennett, the photos in her hidden folder, the life she's been living every Thursday while I picked up our daughters from school. I know, I say. She tilts her head up, kisses me. It's soft, familiar, tasting of wine and lies. When she pulls back, her eyes are searching my face. Are you sure you're okay? You've seemed off all weekend. For a moment, I consider telling her. Laying it all out. The evidence, the FBI, the arrests scheduled for tomorrow morning. Giving her one last chance to explain, to apologize, to somehow make this make sense. But Agent Foster's words echo in my head. Don't give her any reason to suspect. Don't let her destroy evidence or warn the others. So instead, I say, just work stress. Big project wrapping up. She accepts this like she's accepted all my other lies this weekend. We finish our wine in silence, her hand in mine, and I wonder if she feels it too. The weight of everything unspoken between us. At 11, we go upstairs. Ashley showers, changes into one of my old t-shirts, climbs into bed beside me. Within minutes, her breathing evens out into sleep. I lie awake, watching the digital clock count down the hours. 11:47, 12:23, 1:15, 2:08. At 3:30, I give up and go downstairs. In my office, I write letters to Emma and Lily. Not to read now, they're too young. But for later, when they're old enough to understand, when they ask why their father helped send their mother to prison. Dear Emma, by the time you read this, you'll know what your mother did. You'll have questions about why I didn't try to stop it, why I didn't warn her, why I chose to cooperate with the FBI instead of protecting our family. The truth is, I was protecting our family. Not the family we were, but the family you and Lily deserve to have. Your mother made choices that endangered not just herself, but you. The money she earned came from criminals. The people she worked with were dangerous. And if I had stayed silent, if I had let it continue, eventually it would have touched you. I know that doesn't make it hurt less. I know you'll be angry with me, maybe for years. That's okay. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to love your mother and hate what she did. You're allowed to wish I had made different choices. But I need you to know, I did this because I love you. Because you deserve better than a family built on lies. Because protecting you meant more to me than protecting the illusion of our perfect life. I'm sorry I couldn't save us all. I write similar words to Lily, adjusting for her younger perspective. Then I seal both letters in envelopes and lock them in my filing cabinet, next to all the evidence that will destroy their mother. At 5 a.m. I make coffee. Watch the sun rise over Lake Washington. The house is quiet except for the old refrigerator humming and the occasional creak of settling floorboards. At 6:15, I hear Ashley's alarm. The shower starts running upstairs. She's getting ready for her shift at Cedar Ridge, where federal agents will be waiting. I go upstairs, knock on the bathroom door. Yeah? Her voice is muffled by running water. I'm making breakfast. Want eggs? That sounds great. Thanks, honey. I make scrambled eggs and toast. Ashley comes down at 6:45, dressed in her correctional officer uniform. She's pulled her hair back in a tight bun. She looks professional, competent. Nothing like a woman who's about to be arrested for federal corruption. You're up early, she says, kissing my cheek. Couldn't sleep. She sits at the counter, eats the eggs I made. We make small talk about her shift, about whether I'll remember to pick up the dry cleaning, about what we should have for dinner tonight. A dinner we'll never eat. At 7:10, she rinses her plate, grabs her keys and bag. I'll be home around 4, she says. Love you. Love you too. I watch her back out of the driveway, watch her car disappear down our street. My phone reads 7:12, 18 minutes. I go upstairs, check on the girls. both still sleeping, their rooms quiet and peaceful. I close their doors softly. At 7:28, my phone rings. Agent Foster. We're moving in now. Stay in your residence. Someone will contact you within the hour. The line goes dead. I sit on the couch in our living room and wait. The call comes at 8:47 a.m. Agent Foster, her voice professionally neutral. Ashley Davis was taken into custody at 7:31 this morning without incident. Tyler Bennett and 4 other individuals were arrested simultaneously. Jason Pruitt is being transferred to federal custody. All suspects are being processed now. Okay, I say. My voice sounds like it's coming from very far away. We'll need you to come in this afternoon to make a formal statement. Can you be at the field office at 2? The girls, bring them or arrange childcare. Whatever works. But we need your statement today. After she hangs up, I sit in the silence of my house. Upstairs, I hear Lily's door open, her small feet padding toward the bathroom. Emma will be up soon too, wondering why I haven't woken them for their usual Sunday pancakes. I have to tell them something. Not everything. They're too young for everything. But something. By the time both girls are downstairs, I figured out what to say. Mom had to go to work early, I tell them over cereal. She's going to be gone for a while. How long? Lily asks. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be just us for a bit. Emma, 11 and perceptive, studies my face. Is something wrong? Mom made some mistakes at work, I say carefully. She's going to have to fix them, but it's not something for you to worry about. It's not enough. It won't be enough when their classmates whisper, when the news reports air, when they're old enough to Google their mother's name and find the court records. But it's all I can give them right now. I take them to my brother's house in Portland that afternoon, before my meeting with Agent Foster. He asks questions with his eyes, but doesn't voice them in front of the girls. I mouth later and drive back to Seattle alone. The FBI field office feels different this time. More real. More final. I spend 3 hours giving my statement, walking through every piece of evidence, every timeline, every discovery. They record it all, have me sign documents, thank me for my cooperation. The arraignment is tomorrow, Agent Foster tells me as I'm leaving. She'll probably make bail, but there will be conditions. No contact with co-defendants. Possible house arrest. Surrender of passport. Will she come home? That's up to you. Legally, she can't be barred from the residence unless you file a restraining order. But given that you're proceeding with divorce... Right. I file the restraining order that evening. Temporary, just until the divorce is finalized. My attorney, Philip Brennan, handles the paperwork. This will help with custody, he says. Given the federal charges, you'll almost certainly get full custody with supervised visitation at most. Full custody. The words should feel like victory. Instead, they feel like defeat. Ashley makes bail Tuesday afternoon, a $100,000 bond posted by her parents. She's fitted with an ankle monitor and released with orders to appear for preliminary hearing in 3 weeks. She calls me from her parents' house. Can we talk? Her voice is small, unfamiliar. Please, I need to explain. There's nothing to explain. Jason, please. She's crying now. I made mistakes. I know I did. But I never meant for any of this to happen. Tyler, he said it was just phones, just helping guys stay connected with their families, and then it got bigger and I didn't know how to stop. You had 13 months to stop, I say. 13 months to tell me the truth, to get out before it went this far. I was scared. I thought I could fix it myself. I thought, You thought you could keep lying, keep smuggling contraband, keep taking money from criminals, keep sleeping with Tyler Bennett while I raised our daughters. Silence on the other end. I got the restraining order, I continue. You can't come home. My attorney will send the divorce papers this week. You'll have supervised visitation with Emma and Lily until the custody hearing. You're taking my children? Her voice breaks completely. Jason, please, they're all I have. You should have thought about that before you became a drug mule for a prison gang. I hang up. The phone rings again immediately. I silence it. It rings 4 more times before stopping. That night, I pick up the girls from my brother's house and drive them home. They're quiet in the back seat, sensing something they can't articulate. Is Mom coming home? Lily asks as we pull into our driveway. Not right now, I say, but you'll see her soon. Did you and Mom have a fight? Out of the mouths of children. Something like that. Emma says nothing, just stares out the window at our house. Our home. The place that will never feel the same again. The news breaks Wednesday morning. Federal corruption charges filed against 7 in prison contraband scheme. Ashley's name is in the second paragraph, along with her mugshot from the booking. I keep the TV off, monitor the girls' internet access, but Emma finds it anyway. She's 11 and knows how to use Google. She confronts me after school, her face pale and shocked. Mom was arrested for smuggling drugs? I sit her down, tell her a version of the truth calibrated for an 11-year-old. Yes, Mom made bad choices. Yes, she broke the law. Yes, there will be consequences. No, it doesn't mean she doesn't love you. Are you getting divorced? Emma asks. Yes. Because of what she did? Because of a lot of things. She processes this, her young face struggling with concepts too adult for her years. Is she going to prison? Probably, for a while. How long? I don't know yet. She cries then, and I hold her while she sobs into my shoulder. Lily wanders in, sees her sister crying, starts crying too without fully understanding why. I end up on the floor of our living room with both daughters in my arms, all of us crying for different reasons. This is what betrayal looks like. Not hotel receipts and phone records. This. Children crying because their mother chose criminals over her family. The preliminary hearing is 3 weeks later. Ashley pleads not guilty, which her attorney says is standard. The prosecution lays out their evidence: surveillance footage, phone records, financial documents, testimony from cooperating witnesses. Tyler Bennett took a plea deal. 22 months in federal prison in exchange for testimony against Ashley and the others. He gave them everything: the recruitment process, the payment structure, the contraband logistics. He threw Ashley under the bus without hesitation. She sits at the defense table in a gray suit I've never seen before, her hair pulled back, her face carefully blank. She doesn't look at me in the gallery, doesn't look at her parents sitting 3 rows behind me, just stares straight ahead while the prosecutor details her crimes. The judge sets trial for 4 months out. Ashley's attorney asks for the ankle monitor to be removed. The request is denied. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarm. I shield the girls. I brought them because the child psychologist said it might help them process, and push through to my car. Someone shouts questions about whether I knew what my wife was doing. Someone else asks if I'm standing by her. I don't answer. Just get my daughters into the car and drive away. The divorce proceeds in parallel with the criminal case. Ashley doesn't contest it, doesn't fight the custody arrangement. Her attorney tells mine that she just wants it over with. We divide our assets through lawyers. The house goes to me. She can't make mortgage payments from prison anyway. Retirement accounts split 50-50, minus the $38,000 in criminal proceeds, which the government seized. She gets her car, some furniture, her personal belongings. 13 years of marriage reduced to a spreadsheet. The final hearing is in August, 4 months after her arrest. We stand before a judge, different from the criminal court judge, and dissolve our union in less than 15 minutes. Ashley cries quietly while the judge reads the decree. I feel nothing. We're escorted to separate exits to avoid each other per the restraining order. I don't look back. Ashley's criminal trial starts in September. It lasts 8 days. The prosecution presents overwhelming evidence. The defense argues she was manipulated by Tyler Bennett, that she didn't understand the full scope of what she was involved in, that she deserves leniency as a first-time offender. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing is set for October. I don't attend the trial, but I read the transcripts. Ashley testified in her own defense, which her attorney apparently advised against. She cried on the stand, talked about how Tyler had pressured her, how she'd felt trapped, how she'd wanted to stop but didn't know how. The prosecutor shredded her testimony on cross-examination, showed the jury her bank statements, her text messages, the photos of her smiling with Tyler at restaurants, pointed out that she'd had numerous opportunities to report the illegal activity but instead had chosen to profit from it. The jury didn't buy her story. Neither did I. October 15th. Sentencing Day. I attend this one, not in the gallery but in a private room where victims can watch via closed-circuit TV. The federal prosecutor had asked if I wanted to give a victim impact statement. I declined. Anything I said would hurt the girls more than it would help the case. Ashley's attorney argues for the minimum sentence. 8 years. Points to her lack of criminal history, her cooperation during the investigation, her remorse. The prosecutor argues for 15 years. Points to the scope of the conspiracy, the amount of contraband smuggled, the damage to the prison system's integrity. The judge splits the difference. 12 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised release. Ashley will serve at least 85% before being eligible for parole. 12 years. Emma will be 23 when her mother gets out. Lily will be 21. They'll be adults. Their childhoods will be over. Ashley sobs when the sentence is read. Her parents sob in the gallery. Her attorney puts a hand on her shoulder. I watch through the monitor and feel the same nothing I've felt since the divorce hearing. The girls see Ashley once a month at the Federal Correctional Facility in SeaTac. Supervised visits, 30 minutes, no physical contact except at the beginning and end. They sit across a table from their mother and make awkward conversation about school and friends and things that don't matter. Emma stopped going after 6 months. Said it was too hard, too weird. I didn't force her. Lily still goes, dutiful and sad. She brings drawings she's made, tells Ashley about her classes. Ashley cries through most visits. Lily has learned not to cry until we're back in the car. I wait in the parking lot, reading or working on my laptop. I don't go inside. Haven't seen Ashley face to face since the sentencing. 2 years pass. Emma is 13 now. Lily is 11. We've settled into a new normal. I work from home more, make it to every school event, every soccer game, every parent-teacher conference. We have dinner together every night. We talk about their days. We don't talk about their mother unless they bring it up, which is rarely. Emma is in therapy. So is Lily. So am I. We're all working through our versions of the same trauma. The house feels different now. I repainted the kitchen, replaced the furniture in the living room, changed things enough that it doesn't feel like the place where Ashley used to make pancakes and lie about her whereabouts. It's our house now, mine and the girls, not the museum of a failed marriage. I haven't dated, haven't even thought about it. The idea of trusting someone again feels impossible. Maybe someday. Not now. Tyler Bennett was released after serving 18 months. I heard he moved to California, started over somewhere, nobody knows his name. I hope he stays there. Jason Pruitt is serving his sentence at a maximum security facility in Texas. The criminal network he ran from Cedar Ridge was dismantled, though I'm sure someone else has taken his place by now. There's always someone else. The other guards who were arrested took plea deals. Various sentences ranging from 3 to 7 years. Cedar Ridge implemented new security protocols, fired half the staff, brought in consultants to rebuild their systems. It won't stop the next Ashley. Won't prevent the next Tyler from recruiting the next desperate person willing to trade their integrity for cash. But maybe it'll slow them down. 3 years after the arrest, Emma asks me about the evidence. We're in the car, driving home from her basketball game. She's 14 now, old enough for real conversations. Did you know? She asks. Before the FBI arrested her? I've been expecting this question, dreading it. Yes, I say. I found out a few weeks before. And you didn't tell her? No. Why not? I grip the steering wheel, choosing my words carefully. Because if I had told her, she might have destroyed evidence, warned the other people involved. They might have gotten away with it. So you let her get arrested. I reported what I found to the FBI. They made the decision to arrest her. But you knew it would happen. Yes. She's quiet for a long time. Then, good. I glance at her, surprised. She made her choices, Emma says, staring out the window. You didn't make them for her. She could have stopped at any point. She didn't. That's on her, not you. My 14-year-old daughter, wise beyond her years. Therapy has been good for her. I'm still sorry, I say. Sorry you had to go through this. Sorry I couldn't protect you from it. You did protect us, she says. Just not the way we expected. 5 years after Ashley's arrest, Lily asks if she can stop visiting. She's 13, struggling with the monthly trips to SeaTac, struggling with having a mother in prison while her friends' mothers attend soccer games and school plays. I feel guilty, she admits, like I'm abandoning her. You're not abandoning her, I say. You're taking care of yourself. That's different. Will she hate me? No, she'll understand. I write to Ashley. We communicate only through supervised email now, and explain Lily's decision. She responds with grace I didn't expect, says she wants what's best for Lily, says she understands. Maybe prison has changed her. Or maybe she's just saying what she thinks I want to hear. I don't know anymore. Don't particularly care. 7 years after the arrest, Emma graduates high school. She's been accepted to University of Washington, plans to study psychology, says she wants to help other kids whose families fell apart. I'm proud of her in ways I can't articulate. Ashley sends a card from prison. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I love you. Emma reads it, sets it aside without comment. We celebrate with dinner at Emma's favorite restaurant. Just the three of us. Me, Emma, Lily. Our little family, scarred but surviving. Thank you, Emma says during dessert. For everything, for keeping us together. You kept yourselves together, I say. I just showed up. That's all we needed, Lily adds. Someone who showed up. 10 years after Ashley's arrest, I receive notification that she's up for parole. The hearing is scheduled for November. I'm invited to attend, to give a statement if I choose. I decline. Emma is 21 now, Lily is 19. Both in college, both building lives that don't include their mother. They've processed their trauma, made their peace with what happened. Dragging them back into it serves no purpose. Ashley is granted parole. She'll be released in December, 10 years into her 12-year sentence. She'll live in a halfway house, work a supervised job, report to a parole officer weekly. She'll be 51 years old. The girls she left behind are adults now. I wonder if she'll try to contact them. If they'll respond if she does. I wonder if I'll ever stop wondering. 12 years after I found that hotel receipt in Ashley's glove compartment, I'm sitting in my backyard watching the sunset over Lake Washington. Emma is in grad school studying clinical psychology. Lily is a junior at Western Washington University studying social work. Both of them chose careers helping people navigate trauma. I'm 52 years old. The girls are grown. The house is quiet. I've learned things I never wanted to know. That people can live double lives with astonishing ease. That love doesn't prevent betrayal. That sometimes protecting your children means destroying their illusions. I've learned that evidence is just data until you decide what to do with it. That the truth can set you free and imprison you simultaneously. That justice and healing aren't the same thing. Mostly, I've learned that trust, once broken, doesn't heal. It transforms. You don't go back to who you were before. You become someone new, someone harder, someone who verifies instead of believes. The girls are okay. Better than okay, actually. They're strong, resilient, empathetic. They learned that actions have consequences, that integrity matters, that you can survive betrayal without becoming bitter. I'd like to think I taught them that. But honestly, they taught themselves. I just didn't get in the way. As for Ashley, I heard she's working at a nonprofit now, helping formerly incarcerated women reintegrate into society. The irony isn't lost on me. Maybe she's genuinely changed. Maybe she's found redemption in helping others avoid her mistakes. Or maybe she's just better at hiding who she really is. I don't know. Don't need to know. My daughters are safe. That's what matters. That's what always mattered. The sun sinks below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. The water reflects the colors, doubling the beauty. It's the same view I've had for 20 years, but it looks different now. Clearer, somehow. Less filtered through the lens of who I thought I should be. I finish my coffee, go inside, lock the door behind me. Tomorrow, Emma is coming over for dinner. Lily will video call from Bellingham. We'll talk about their weeks, their plans, their lives. We'll laugh at inside jokes and share stories and be a family. Just a different family than the one I thought I was building all those years ago. And that, I've learned, is enough.